Welcome. I'm Robyn McTague, Master Holistic Healer and creator of A Life of Choice Coaching. And I'm here to talk to you about rejuvenating your relationships. And I'm going to talk about 3 myths about relationships that make you feeling alone and unhappy. So we come into the world alone, and we're immediately thrust into relationship. We don't have a choice, and we need them for our survival. And often, we're in relationships that aren't so healthy. And so I'm going to talk to you today about why this is so important. So I'm really excited to be able to tell you that you can have healthy relationships. So when I say the word relationship, what comes to mind? Husband. So usually it's something negative, because often we go to the negative experience. It's the relationship that didn't work out, it's the person in the family that you can't get along with, and sometimes we just want to pull our covers over our head and say, I'm just going to talk to my dog or cat, forget people. Yeah. So I wasn't raised to be successful. I came from a home where my dad was an alcoholic, a rageaholic, an abuser. My mom was mentally ill and suicidal. I lived in foster care. And despite that, I managed to find a way to move forward, even though I didn't know how to have healthy relationships from my background. I ended up finishing high school, being the first one in my family to do that. I went on to get a degree in psychology, a bunch of other certifications, and worked corporately in respected positions, despite feeling like I had a mask on, because I was shy, and I really felt that I couldn't be who I was in order to be in relationship. I had to hide that from everyone, including myself. So the thing is, we all have an innate desire to be better if we know how. And so we have that, and we can really work with that to our advantage. So why is it important to have happy, healthy relationships? Because they nurture us. They help us grow. They help us to be more of who we are. We get to really experience who we want to be on this planet in this lifetime. So studies have shown that healthy relationships reduce stress and improve our overall health. Researchers have shown that people with healthy relationships have a 50% greater likelihood of survival. I think that's an amazing statistic. Poor relationships lead to depression and a weak immune system. Therefore, we can actually get physically ill if we are not having happy and healthy relationships. So we're either living our lives or we're dying our lives. And my wake-up call came at the age of 44 with the diagnosis of breast cancer. So I had a choice. Do I continue on the path I'm on, or do I pivot and make a choice to do something different? So I had lost myself in helping others and not taking care of myself and who I was. I had stuffed down all my feelings. I wasn't expressing who I was. And so that's my mission, to help other people before they get to that crisis point. So we've all known people who have given up on relationships. They isolate themselves more and more, and they say, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't need it. And they're really lying to themselves and to you, because deep down they know they want that connection and that love that they so truly deserve, and that closeness. So what happens, we get stuck in that mentality of victim, that we don't have a choice. And it's just not true. In reality, we haven't been taught the skills. We need a new language, systems, to develop healthier and deeper relationships with ourselves and with others. So I was raised to be seen and not heard. And throughout my life, I continued to be that way. And I got into an unhealthy marriage. And I repeated the family pattern. Married someone who was a rageaholic. but it didn't look like that on the outside. They were different. They weren't a drinker, so I thought they were different. But there was that connection to the familiar, and I found that rageaholic. And it got so bad for me, I secretly wished that he would die so I could get out of that relationship. I did not know how to take that responsibility for myself. That didn't happen. We had a big blow up, and I finally realized enough was enough, and I got out. And I began my healing work. So I found the academic work was great, and the psychology, the conflict resolution, that was all wonderful. But there was something else missing. So once I had the courage to go inside and start to feel my emotions and really understand what I had buried, then I needed some way to reconnect to my spirit. And I found that in the Training and Power community and system. And I love it so much that I now teach it to both adults and children and help them on their healing journey. So we need to take care of all of ourselves, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And we need that in order to have healthy relationships and live a life that we love. So let's talk about 3 myths that keep you feeling alone and unhappy. And I will go backwards from 3 to 1. So there's a missing picture. Hollywood would have us believe that we only have one chance and that's it. It's a poverty mentality that there isn't enough. We've all seen the movies. I missed my chance and that's it. I'm never going to find anyone else in my life that's going to love me. And it's just not true. So I actually do a process called karmic numerology, and I can actually look at the karmic connections and the soulmate connections that you have in your life. And we can have soulmate connections in intimate, romantic relationships, within our family, within friends, within colleagues. So it's all possible. So my biggest example of this is my foster mom. My foster mom and I were more connected than my biological mom. And she died last year, just short of her 100th birthday. And she died on my birthday at 2:10, which is my birthday reversed. So I thought, that's really interesting. I haven't done our charts together. And I looked at our charts, and we had 2 soulmate connections and the 2 strongest of the 3. So it goes to show. So instead, we need to be open to abundance and what is possible out there, and be receptive. So one of the exercises that you can do for yourself is really pinpoint what you do want. Do a handwriting list of all the attributes of everything that you want in the person. It can be romantic, a new friend, someone you want to work with, whatever it is. And say it all in the positive. For example, I wouldn't say, I want a non-smoker. Instead, I would say, I want someone with a healthy lifestyle. So continue to do that list and fine-tune it. And then be open to the possibilities, because they might not come in the package that you think they might. And I've seen some great success with this. People have gotten absolutely everything on the list, and they've checked it off. And some of the strangest things that you wouldn't even consider. So myth number 2, I'm too old, I'm set in my ways, who feels like that? So the thing is, as we accumulate experience over time, we do get kind of into regular routines and patterns, and we think, oh, it's okay. And besides, who's going to like me and my weirdness? Have you ever felt that way? So the thing is that we create neural pathways in our brain. And there is a term that shows us that we can do things differently. It's called neuroplasticity, where we can actually change these neural pathways in our brain. But if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, that rut gets deeper and deeper, and it's like driving on a rutted road. We just drive down that road in the ruts because it's easier than finding a new path. And we don't really question things. So the thing is that with awareness and knowledge, we can change those behaviors and patterns and create new ones, and healthier ones. The problem is that we're inside of the picture frame looking out, and it's hard for us to see it all of the time. And that's why it's so important to work with someone that can help you and actually see beyond the possibilities and the choices that you see for yourself. And that's one of the things I love to do, because most people think there's only two options for everything, and that's usually not the case. So one thing you can start to do today is to change up your routine. Do you get out of bed every day on the same side? Maybe switch it up and do it on the other side tomorrow. Do you drive to your favorite restaurant one way? Switch it up. And start with gratitude. Wake up in the morning and speak aloud some gratitudes that you have. It could be for your good night's sleep, it could be for the bed that you're in, whatever it is. It allows our brain to be open and get ready to transform and think differently. And number one, I have to compromise who I am. I can't be myself. So how many women out there have given away what they feel is part of themselves in the past in relationships? Yeah. And so that fear comes up that we're going to do that again, that we can't really be ourselves. The truth is we might have to change and compromise on some habits or some routines, but the truth is we really need to be who we are. And that's actually the most important thing in a relationship. Because that's when you can have a deeper relationship. We need to really appreciate our uniqueness and be happy in it to be able to have a healthy relationship. Have you ever noticed when you don't speak your truth in a relationship, resentment builds, and then you end up sabotaging the relationship? Or you're walking on eggshells, and then you feel unseen, unheard, and unloved. So we need to learn correct responsibility. Response, ability. What is me and what is you? Keep our energy for ourselves and allow them to have theirs. And it's only by being truly who we each are that we can come together in relationship. So we need to own our own needs and wants and not make ourselves wrong for that. So I love to help people get that clarity, help them to think outside the box. So one of the challenges for most clients is learning healthy boundaries and what boundaries actually are. So one of my clients really embraced this, and she found that she had more energy for herself. She never felt drained at the end of the day when she left work. She had better relationships with her kids, with her family. She found new activities and hobbies that she loved and new friends and never felt lonely again. So that's why I created a Life of Choice coaching, to help you to look at your unique circumstances and help you express who you are. I feel very passionate about helping you find the path to live your life of joy and happiness and fulfilling relationships. I've spent many years learning about the science of the mind and how to combine the energy and metaphysical systems with that. I wouldn't enjoy my life of adventure and fun without these systems. So in closing, I'm going to give you an exercise to do, and you can Google The 5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. Do the online test and find out what it is, how you like to receive love. And start to do that for yourself today. The more that we can fill ourselves with love and kindness for ourselves, the more that we can express and give that to others. And one of my lifetime goals is to create a world of kindness, one person at a time. So thank you. I'm Robyn McTague from A Life of Choice Coaching.